to season 3 of Tunnel Fits podcast, and today's guest is Molly. I found Molly scrolling threads. She posted some merch and kind of stopped me because the merch is that fire. To me, if something makes you stop like that, it's intentional and there's some kind of connection. She's the founder of All My Friends Are Hoopers that started as an art piece in her office, turned into a fabulous brand. And so far, she's been in WNBA locker rooms already. So for this episode, we're going to be talking about identity, tunnel fits culture, and like quality pieces. Let's not forget, she's going to be in the hot seat. She's got to tell us her top 5 best dressed WNBA players. And we're going to play a little fun game where we blind rank the new NWSL jerseys. So let's get into it. Quick shout out to our friends at FanWagon. If you're sitting on some merch, looking for the perfect jersey, or just maybe some vintage pieces to add to your collection, you need to check them out. FanWagon is a marketplace for fans to buy and sell authentic merch. So if you're sitting on some pieces you want to get rid of, or if you're looking to collect something, check them out. Head over to fanwagon.com and join the movement. Today we got Molly with us from All My Friends Are Hoopers. She's going to give us some insight to her brand, how she got started, and something that's going to be going on in the future. So how are we today, Molly?
I'm feeling so good. Thank you so much for giving me some time. I'm so excited to chat.
Yeah, I saw your merch came across the TL and I was like, oh, that's nice. And I could spot quality because I've worked in manufacturing for a long time. And even through the pictures, I saw, oh, that's quality. That's quality merch. That's not, no offense to Gildan, but it's just not that.
Yeah.
So I can see it. So for our first question is more like an identity question. When did hoops kind of stop being something you did and kind of became who you were?
Oh, wow. Probably in the second grade. So I started playing basketball only because my dad showed me my brother. He was a year older than me. He showed me when I was in kindergarten the sign up slip for basketball, and I was like, I don't know. I don't think I never played before. And he's like, I'll get you some new shoes. And so I said, all right, I'll try it.
Okay.
And I was fortunate to grow up with two brothers, and I'm in between them. I'm in age, and so it always kind of pushed me. I wanted to be better than them, and so of course, just starting it for me, I fell in love with it. But I think even when I was in elementary school, like I always had a ball with me. It's like my comfort. It's like my
Mm-hmm.
security blanket. Um, I always had a ball with me, and I was always a tomboy. And so I think people just started associating me with basketball, which I was fine with. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but even then, that's kind of why the brand has its name. All My Friends Are Hoopers. Is it just became such a big part of my life that it felt like even as an adult, I'm about to be 40, not to tell on myself, but just everything that's extended in my life that I love has some tie to basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah.
I could kind of say the same. I grew up in Connecticut. So I always tell people I've been watching phenomenal women hoops my whole life. Because UConn has been good.
Yeah.
Basically my whole life.
So you're
So
a UConn fan?
yes.
That's what's up.
Yes, that's my team. But I also like other teams. Like I love what Dawn Staley's doing. So I like good hoop, but if I have to pick a team, it's gonna be Connecticut.
That's a great life as like a sports fan, is to be a UConn fan. So I love
Yeah.
that for you.
Yeah. So you sampled 30 different shirts or more.
Yes, Rock. Like,
Walk us through that process.
so when I decided I wanted to put All My Friends Are Hoopers on a shirt, I was like, well, it can't be just any shirt because like I probably have maybe 10 things that I wear and I just circle them through and hope they don't get holes in them because I really appreciate like how things feel and how they fit on me. So I started sampling all these t-shirts and it was just I would barely pull them out of the package. I'm like, nope, that's not it. It's not gonna work. And so I went on Reddit, I'm looking around like who's got the best oversized garment dyed, thick, nice feeling t-shirt. And I couldn't find one that I would be able to get a lot of for even under $15 a shirt. I was like, well, that's going to make it really hard because I still wanted to make things that were pretty affordable for all women's hoops fans. And so I was like, I don't know, what if I just try to get my own made? And so I work with some manufacturers and I was still getting things that I didn't really like. So I had to send them my two favorite t-shirts, which was very anxiety inducing. I'm like, I need one that feels like this and fits like this. But also, if I don't get these back, we're gonna have a major international problem. And
Okay.
but they work with it, and the samples they got me, I was like, wow, this is perfect. But we just then I had to commit to a bunch of them. So I was like, all right, it's time to start selling some t-shirts. But same as you, like I really when I look at a t-shirt, I'm feeling it. I'm like, ah,
Feel it. You can
you
see
know,
it. Mhm.
it's got to be something that that I knew, I wanted people to open it up on their doorstep. I want when they know they've got all my friends' stuff coming in the mail, like when they open it up, the first thing they're like, this is like nothing that I've bought off the rack.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did you keep going? Because 30 is a lot. Like, and I don't know how many samples you paid for, but that can be very costly. Just how did you keep going and come to the shirt that you have produced?
Well, it's funny. It's kind of like the same thing I do with sneakers. How I justify like a sneaker purchase is I'm like, okay, if they're 250, I just got to wear them 250 times, and that's $1 each.
$1 each.
Whenever I was, whenever I was sampling all of them, and I was ordering, you can because you can get if you're gonna really just start looking, you're getting samples for like $6 or $10, but you're paying shipping. So I was like, well, if I'm committed to this, I'm gonna find the right one. Every time I got a sample I didn't like, I'm like, oh, that's just when I get the right one, another shirt I'm gonna have to sell. So I knew I was like, I've got enough friends and I probably have enough karma in the world that I'm not gonna go broke making my first round of shirts. Like I'll at least break even. And maybe
Even,
that
yeah.
was super optimistic, but I it was like one of those things where once I started looking for it, I thought, wow, I bet, after the first 10, I said, I bet this is where a lot of people quit. And I think that's a lot of like the sports in us, right? Is, you know, you if you miss your first 6 shots, like that's when a lot of people stop shooting.
Right. Kind of check out and yeah, overthinking. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, if we're hoopers, we just dig back in, get back in the gym, get back on the internet, find the right
Hmm.
manufacturer. So it took a long time, but it's one of those things too where you're like, when I get this right, I'm gonna remember all of these steps that made me cry in the moment.
So with that, who was the first W player you seen with your piece on, and then how did you feel when you seen it?
So I don't want to name I don't want to name drop the first one that I saw come across. So it's just like Shopify, is how I'm set up. And so I get the notification, right? And when we know certain names that are in the WNBA, you're just like, okay. I was brushing my teeth.
Is it really that
I
person?
was like,
Yeah.
now, is that because I know how she spells her name. So if that is the same, if that's going to Los Angeles, then and it was. And so we ended up last year we were in 4 WNBA locker rooms between coaches and players. But Sammy Whitcomb was the first one who was like, this is what's up, like, really
Hmm.
kind of embraced us. And I didn't see I knew that she had I knew she had our stuff. But one of my friends was like, so Sammy Whitcomb's wearing your stuff before the Dallas game in like the tunnel fit. And I was like, you're lying. You're lying. It was one of my friends
Yeah.
who told me. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's no big deal. Like, because I mean, you've been around hoops for a long time. Like, I remember watching Sammy hoop for the Storm when,
Hmm.
like her rookie year when I lived close to DC, and just always thinking like, oh, this girl's got some longevity in her. Like, she can shoot. She's 3 and D, and just always loved her game. But it's like I didn't really think of you never really think of this person's gonna
Right. Right.
really identify with your brand. And then the night she wore this shirt. This has probably been our most popular t-shirt. Says I'd rather be hooping with my friends. She wore it in the tunnel and against Dallas and went I think she had 36 points that night. And I was like,
Oh.
okay, this is
Yeah.
crazy. So I just plugged it on the social and it sold out in like an hour. And then
I love that.
I reached out. I'm like, this went crazy for us. I'll send you whatever, I'm like, and she was like, oh, well, I didn't really like the picture because it was a road game in Dallas. She's like, I don't feel like the picture did your brand justice. So I'm going to wear it at a home game in a couple weeks. And I'm going to make sure because in Phoenix, like, they got the right lighting in the tunnel. Like, Phoenix has probably the best tunnel outside of the Liberty. And she did every angle for that. And I was like, That's so cool because, I just feel like she's always been about what we're about, which is, like, just be yourself, do you, um, stay positive, and she rocked it with, I think, some sambas. So it's just, like, so classic to how we, I can appreciate a tunnel fit where the girls just go off with their, like, designer couture, um, but that's just we made these shirts because I was like, "I want some to wear to a WNBA game as a fan."
Right.
That's just like, "Hey, this is, like, it's not in your face. It's basketball adjacent, things that fit good and feel good." It felt so crazy. I couldn't even believe it, Rock, because when I started this brand, I wrote 3 things in the back of my notebook, because this isn't my full-time job. I was like, "I'm gonna throw some
Mhm.
money at this and have fun, and I wanna make X amount of dollars, and I wanna make whatever the F I want, and I want it to get in a WNBA tunnel fit." And I was like, "That might be kinda lofty, but there's gotta be one player out there who just likes a good fitting t-shirt." And so last year, I mean, that was our first year and it was crazy, but it's just the WNBA is my probably my favorite thing in the world besides my girl and my dog, and I'm very fearful that we're not gonna have a season, but I completely
Man, I'm
understand.
hoping we do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was just crazy, like, somebody who's been in the league as long as Sammy just done her thing by being herself. Yeah, we were thrilled. And then the other ones were just icing on the cake. So,
Mhm. If do you have anybody you're like, "Oh, I really wanna see this person in it," or do you want it to just be organic, like they see your stuff, they like it, and they put themselves in it?
I mean, you always kinda want it to be organic because you never
Mhm.
wanna feel like a fangirl, but trust me, I'm my my whole feeling about it all is like, they say, like, behave like a duck, like, you're cool and calm up top, but underneath you're
Mhm.
paddling like heck.
Pattern,
That's
yeah.
me with this stuff too, is like, Imma be cool, Imma message Sammy, Imma be really cool on this, but inside I'm just like, "How neat is this? Like, this is so cool." Um, so I would love for it to happen organic, but obviously Natasha Cloud, I think, is probably the style icon of the dub among many icons. Like they all got it going. Um, obviously Asia.
Mhm.
I'm like Asia. I can make a white tee with just a little hoopy character on it. Ain't no thing.
Real chill
Right? Yeah.
for your days where you gotta get busy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean anybody. Like I think it's the greatest hoops league in the world. I think it's the greatest professional sport in the world. So if W players, and we've had some college, like we've had college coaches, college players wear the stuff. It's just I don't I just feel so grateful, and I'm like I'm just keep making things that hopefully people want to
People
buy.
like
Yeah.
they will, they will. Alright, time for our tough question. So, you gotta give me your top 5 best dressed WNBA players. It could be current or former. It's up to you.
Oh my gosh, current or former makes it very hard. So I think the top of the list, and I already kind of touched on it, has got to be Asia. I think Asia's top of the top skill and style. I think it was 2024 when she was like, I don't even deserve to think about outfits, and she wore her white tees in the tunnel. She like
Mhm.
relegated herself to not even thinking about outfits so she could focus on hoops, and that's so real. But then she would just wear like her white tee and her chain, and Nike was like, "Well, we got to make an Asia white tee now." And I feel like if you can get it going with just a white tee, you're probably a fashion icon. Um, Obviously Natasha Cloud, love her style. I just think they're two people as well. I mean, probably everybody I'm gonna mention my top five. They just are themselves, and I think confidence and aura is probably the best accessory you can wear. You can see it. You can see it in those two. Skylar, obviously, Skylar pushes it into things that I'm like, I know I could never wear that, but you put that on. And I think
Yeah.
Rakia kind of does that as well.
Mhm.
Um, Gabby Williams, I love her style. And then obviously, Sammy's got to make my top five, right? Because that's unfair if she doesn't. Um,
Mhm.
just as far as like, I mean, she's a mom. She's t-shirt, some Adidas. She rocks it. I don't. That was probably five or six or
That
seven.
was your 5. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But they were like Cappy used to put some outfits together. Oh man, it's
Mhm.
hard. It's hard. Like the '90s, the women in the '90s, they were putting that stuff on.
Right, we just didn't get to really see it.
I
Like I'm
know.
doing a series slowly on like before the tunnel. just really looking at players who were doing this before we thought of the ton of how we thought of it. But Cappy is definitely on that list. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, I'm leaving out like everybody to cut it down to five. I do feel like the WNBA is also like, I mean, fashion wise, they really push things forward because as a lot of us feel, as a woman, even when you grow up as a tomboy, you're still dealing with like all the hormones of what fits today might not fit tomorrow and all of these things that I think sometimes like, I mean, obviously Nike has got a chokehold on the sports world, but like I want my if I wear traditionally a large, I'm gonna get an extra large t-shirt just so I can wear it on days when I'm probably not feeling my best.
Feeling, yeah, yeah.
And so I think when women are coming out every night and they're like putting these fits together for the tunnel, they're always looking picture ready, then they're going out and playing. I think that's something that people don't always think about is like a woman's body can change. I mean, my weight fluctuates 10 pounds on 2 days, so these jeans, they fit 50% of the
Today,
time. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's something too that, women don't get enough credit for is like how much our bodies change even day to day.
I like where we are with merch. It's smaller brands are really just getting their chance. Like the last two episodes, I had Heather with the W ties, and then before that was Lift and Legacy. They do hats and headwear, and they are again smaller brands who just had some opportunity. They were featured in Seattle Storm shops, and people are really gravitating to it because they can feel that it's authentic. Like we love Nike, however, sometimes Nike just gives us like cookie cutter. Here's the logo on the front, maybe a little drawing on the back, done. But like your brand and their brands are really like you could feel the heart and soul of the brand. So I love where we are in that we're seeing more opportunities for other brands to kind of showcase what they got.
I completely agree. I think there's so many people out there right now, especially women, who are pushing forward and putting kind of pressure on some of these like fan shops, some of, the Nike, the saying like, hey, if you're gonna charge us like 45 bucks for a shirt, it's gonna have to be a little bit better. Like my
Exposure.
neckline can't
Yeah.
stretch out after two wears. And what was this even, I find with a lot of athletic brands, my issue was I want something cool. I want something to wear to a game. And but was this intended to fit with like sweats or when I'm working out, going for a run? There's no way that this was intended for me to wear with like an oversized cardigan and like throw a fit together. And so that's the other reason why I was like, is what we do has got to be oversized. It's got to be garment dyed. It's got to wash well. Um, and I think there are definitely some other up and comers too, like my brand, who's like, hey, we're just gonna try to do this and do this right and make a shirt that people are like, wow, that's gonna be in my rotation for the next until it falls apart.
So for this segment, we're gonna do blind ranking of the NWSL jerseys. So our first one is the Denver Summer jersey. Where would you place that jersey?
Okay, so I know in women's soccer, this is a very unique colorway, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna put this one. I'm gonna put this at number two.
And number two. Okay, all right. Or two.
All right. I love this one because I think until you get up close on it, you don't really see all the details. But I feel like from
Mm-hmm.
a fan perspective, this is gonna look fire. I'm gonna put this one at number three.
Okay, and this is Portland's
Portland,
jersey.
yep.
Got the Houston dash.
Houston. Okay. So I've already checked up number two and number three
And two and number three. Yep.
because I'm trying to anticipate what you might include, and I gotta leave spot for my number one.
Okay.
It might end up messing me up though. This is you can't you can't get too far ahead of yourself. Um, oh man, I'm gonna put this one at number five.
Okay.
It's got a lot going on. I love the colors though. I love light
I
blue.
like the blue.
Yeah.
Like the blue, but there's a bit much going on.
Yeah, that's number one. I was
That's
like,
number
I
one. I
hope she
kind
has
of
that on
figured
there.
it was gonna be number one.
That is
I kind of
fire. Like
yeah.
they did that.
New York just has good merch. Yeah.
They really do across the way.
They
And it's
do.
all different
Mhm.
color schemes too. I mean, like from the Knicks to a Liberty, like a lot of the WNBA and NBA teams kind of took, especially the teams that came on early, like the Comets and the Rockets kind of had the same colors. But what I love about New York is like each team is very New York, but they all have their own identity.
And our last one,
We'll see if I would have moved it around. Oh yeah, that probably would have been my number 5.
number 5, the Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I
Okay, that
stand
was
by my
good.
ranking. I do think
That was
though,
good.
outside like I think Denver's color scheme and how they got the red rocks on their logo, I love that. I really think they pushed it with their colors. Kind of like what Unrivaled's doing. Like
Mhm.
Unrivaled has a lot of color schemes where you the laces, you've never seen that before.
Nope.
So, yeah, women's sports, of course, pushing the envelope.
Do you have a favorite? Is that your favorite Unrivaled jersey?
I would say because the shorts with the big L on them, they go right into
Yeah.
the seam. That's just chef's kiss. Jackie's probably one of our favorites in this household, so we watch the
Okay.
laces. We don't miss the
Okay.
laces. And then the Phantom, I mean, that makes me kind of boring, but I love how they have. I feel like if you're gonna set up a team name now, you need to make sure there's an emoji for it. You need to go ahead and get Ghost Gang, get your hashtag ready. So I like theirs too. I love when they wear the neon jerseys, kind of let it pop a little bit. But laces are probably my favorite, just as far as from logo on to execution of the jerseys. I'm really glad that they stepped up the game. I feel like Under Armour did them dirty the first year.
The first season, yeah,
They look
yeah, yeah.
like practice jerseys from like the middle school. I'm like, we
They look
can't get the
much
girls a
better.
bag
Look
and then
much
put them
better.
in a mess.
Mm.
What about you?
I like the gray Phantom jersey. I know it's kind of plain, but it's a great gray, and I could just see it worn so many ways. And then Hive, not their jersey, but their merch. Their colors look really good on their merch.
Yeah,
So if I had to pick a jersey, it's the gray Phantom, and then merch overall is Hive.
right on. And I
Yeah.
I like what the Rose are doing as well. I really think that they've taken that concept and they've done really well with it. I'm
Hmm.
just not, obviously, I'm just not the type of girl that wears a lot of flowers.
A lot of flowers. Yeah. Yeah.
I think all the concepts, I think conceptually they really thought about it and how this is like, how does this look in like women's sports? How does it feel? How does it show up? And their merch this year's made a
Hmm.
huge improvement.
A
So
huge
you just love to
improvement.
see it.
Yeah. Just keep watching them and see what they're gonna do. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah. So are you going? Have you been to any Unrivaled games?
I went to Philly, and I'm gonna go to Brooklyn. I have not been able to get to Miami.
Me either. It's so far. My partner is a coach, so this is like I'm
This is
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yep. So I'm a dog mom like full time right now.
Got you.
Yep.
I
So
was supposed to go to Miami, but there was weather here in Pittsburgh, so couldn't get out.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
No.
Pittsburgh for you, I bet you're excited that Cleveland's getting a W team.
Yes.
Is that will
I'm
that be
actually
the
going
closest for
to
you?
um I think so. Yes. Cleveland is like 2 hours. Yeah, because DC is 4.5. So yeah.
Right
I'm
on.
going to an event later where the she's like a community and partnership director of Cleveland. She'll be there. That's really why I'm going, so I can talk to her. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think especially so I live in like Southwest Virginia, and
Okay.
so we get our TV games get blacked out from
Uh,
DC, and I'm like, but it's a 7-hour drive. Like I understand, but I can't make that game. But I used to live up about an hour from DC, and so we went to games up there all the
to
time.
game time. Yeah.
It was so fun. I think that's our next move. It's got to be back in a city because I'm from
A
Indianapolis,
city. Hmm.
and so growing up, I was at the first ever Fever game, and then
Nice.
when they man when they were in the finals when they won, it was like you could still get a ticket. You walking in $10, you're sitting. I got to
Right.
sit
Right.
um when I was in high school. I got to sit at some games that were like underneath the bench, the rows that are right underneath the bench where your knees are like
Hmm.
touching the players. And I mean, talk about trying to keep it cool. I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
fire. We went to Indy last year for the All Star game. Great, we had a great time. Great time. I think some people were like, "Oh, it's Indy," but they did a great production. There were so many events. The players had a ball. That's the first time I seen them have that much fun like that. So Indy's all right with me.
Yeah, I was there for the All-Star game as well because, and like my mom probably will listen to this because she's my biggest fan. But
Hmm.
it's always like if something's going on in Indy Final Four or whatever, I'm like, all right, time to go see mom because get that
But
free
yeah, yeah,
get that free stay. But of course, I mean, I go back for plenty of reasons, but definitely when things are back in the city, like we love to go. And I mean, Indy really shows up. You know, they really show up for sports, especially women's basketball. Growing up on the Pacers, and then when the Fever came, it was just like we never thought that a small market like that would be one of the first expansions of the Dub. And now to see, you know, I grew up on Stephanie White. I remember watching, you know, on my grainy TV when she won a national championship with Purdue. And
hmm
so then to see her come back and the way the city has embraced her again, you know, it's really cool. But I think
it is.
definitely those smaller markets when they get things like the Final Four, when they get things like you know, WNBA teams and All Star and stuff like that, it really I feel like sometimes being in those things in a big city, it kind of gets swallowed up. And when you're in a smaller city, it's like I just think that the town's like, oh my gosh, there's this thing to do and we're all
There's
gonna pop
something
up
here.
for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went to. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So last question. What do you think women's hoops gives people that nothing else does?
Women I'm not trying to be dramatic, but women's hoops has given me all the best things in my life. So I got an education because I could play basketball. I mean, and I fell in love with it as a kid. And then when you start getting letters and things, you know, and people are like, hey, you can come here and we'll pay for you to get a degree and you can just hoop and meet your best friends for your life. Knowing what that means now, in the moment, you know, you're a junior and senior in high school, you're like, wow, this is really cool. But I don't think I've really appreciated that until I've gotten older. This fall, I got to go back and watch, you know, I've been able to watch some of my friends and teammates get inducted into Hall of Fames. And then, you know, we had a really successful team from when I was in college. So you get to go back and get celebrated for all of those things. And then to just kind of say, now, wait a minute, what if I just made some clothes that basically said, all my friends are hoopers because they all are, and weave some little inside jokes and things into them that are homage to my friends, to all the things that I've been given through this. I think women's hoops, if you pour yourself into it and and you work hard and you're grateful, you know, my pillars for this brand in my life are just work hard and have gratitude. Um, then you can work up a side hustle like this that now has introduced me to you, or,
Hmm.
you know, talk to WNBA players, or, you know, just the people who say, I got your hoodie for my daughter and it was her favorite Christmas present. Like, that's the craziest thing to me. I mean, it's crazy
Yeah.
when a
So,
WNBA player wants to wear your stuff, but if if your stuff was somebody's favorite present and you're just able to do a handwritten note, it's like just keep working. You're never gonna know. I write that in a lot of our handwrittens, like you never know where hoops will take you. Like just keep working at it. So I think for me personally, it's probably limitless of what hoops can give me that nothing else can. But I think as far as this community, to watch women's hoops grow especially over the last like 5 years,
mhm.
um, it's been kind of weird because before we were all like in the club, right? Where it was
Right.
like we have our favorites, but there's definitely no player that we don't love. And now over the last with all the growth of it, with the growth of anything, you kind of get villains. And
Hmm.
so as I call myself like a OG like WNBA fan, I'm like, I just don't know if I want us to have villains. Like so it's been really neat to watch it grow, but then also to say like, oh, well, you know, here's like my real community of people. And then I I'm kind of talking in circles right now because every time I open my socials, you know, my algorithm is just like, hey, here's some women's hoops like positivity and good news and fit pics for you. here's people that you should connect with. Um, I just can't imagine a better thing, you know, and I hope that everybody who's like in a niche community, you know, if you like to knit or you like softball or whatever it is, like step outside of yourself a little bit to find your people because it's going to be the greatest gift that your life might ever get, you know,
I
outside of
agree.
your
I
family.
agree. Yep.
I feel like women's basketball fans and people who really appreciate it, they're my extended family, and I'm so grateful for everything that it's given me, and I honestly can't believe now I'm like, you know, paying some bills with it. It's just
Hmm.
blow your
It's
mind.
amazing, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, Molly, this was good. This is a really good episode. I think that people will like connect with it. Um, so we'll make sure we put your website up and all those things. Anything else you want to make sure we mention?
Yeah, I mean, hit the website if there's something you feel compelled to buy. We're gonna put a Rock 10, ROC 10. I'll have Rock put it in the notes, and we'll do like through March Madness, we'll do like an extra 10%.
Cool,
And
cool,
we'll
cool.
kick some. I got some hats coming, right? I love to see your hat wear. We got some hats coming, so I'll send you some of that stuff too. But yeah, I think the only thing people need to probably know is like just keep going. Whether you're trying to start a brand or if you're trying to get a scholarship, if you're trying to break through whatever it is you're trying to break through, you know, take the licks and keep going. That's what sports is all about. That's what women's hoops is all about. That's why it's in the position it's in right now is because a lot of women out there refuse to quit, and I think that's the greatest thing we can learn, you know, from women's hoops is just band together and don't quit. Don't Yeah. So thank you so much. This is so fun.